So, you want to learn what you can actually do to combat climate change. Good news, you can watch this video to learn about the 12 United Nations recommended actions individuals can take. Or even better, you can join my dojo, which specializes in eliminating excess greenhouse gases.
This is lame.
The UN's 12 recommended actions genuinely matter, even when they seem small. Because when millions take small steps, it turns into one giant step for humankind. Some of these actions have other benefits like helping you live a healthier lifestyle, saving money, and generally just leaving the earth a little bit better than you found it. So make sure you watch until the very end. Let's get into it. The first action is to save energy at home. A lot of home heat and electricity still comes from fossil fuels, which mostly consists of coal, oil, and gas. When these are used up, they typically are released into the atmosphere as CO2, carbon dioxide, which makes its way up to the atmosphere, trapping more heat from the sun, which causes climate change, which is exactly what we're trying to prevent. So, reducing the amount you use can make a real difference. Here are some ways to save energy at home. Lower heating usage by becoming a human blanket burrito. Lower AC use by making sure you're well hydrated and wearing your birthday suit responsibly. Switch to LED bulbs. They last longer and they're simply more efficient. Use efficient appliances or technology in your house when you can. For example, there's a thing called the smart thermostat, which learns your patterns. It can lower heating or the cooling when you're asleep or you're out. Washing clothes with cold water is more energy efficient and it actually is better for your clothes overall. It prevents shrinking, fading, and damage to delicate fabrics. Otherwise, this might happen. Hang drying your clothes is also better for the longevity of your clothes. Plus, it's low-key martial arts training.
Dude, I'm not gonna do your laundry.
Improving insulation or switching from fossil fuel heating to electric heat pumps also helps and saves money in the long term. There's a few more home tips on their website which they recommend, so feel free to check that out. I've linked it below in the description. But those are just a few of the significant changes you can make to save energy at home. Next, we have changing your home's energy source. Ever wonder where your home's electricity actually comes from? Ask your utility provider to see if there's a renewable option. If available, ask for solar, wind, or hydro. You can possibly even install solar panels on your roof. It's pretty neat being self-sustaining. When enough people request renewables, companies magically discover clean energy can also be profitable. That's kind of what happened to a company in Denmark called Ørsted, which used to be called Dong Energy. I know, awesome name. I don't know why they changed it. But basically, they went from primarily being a fossil fuels energy company to a mostly renewables energy provider, which is a pretty cool story. Changing your energy source is one of the most impactful actions you can take. So see if it's available. Next up, we have trying out alternate transportation methods. I mean, cars alone account for a whopping 20 to 25% of global total emissions for carbon dioxide. And much of that time is spent in traffic, which can turn into years of your life. Just imagine when your life is flashing before your eyes and you have to relive your life. This is probably what you'd see. So that doesn't happen, try doing these things. Walking, humanity's original transportation method. Then there's biking if you want to go faster, and it's great for thighs. And then there's e-bikes, which is like unlocking a cheat code for hills. Simply increasing the amount that you walk or that you cycle is great for your health. Can't forget about buses or trains, which usually have their own designated lane, which makes you skip all that traffic. And then there's carpooling or a car share system. Who doesn't love a good road trip? Now, of course, having a car is awesome. It gives you a lot of freedom. Maybe it's secretly a transformer. And sometimes you simply need it for your lifestyle or for your accessibility needs. But Living car-free or driving less makes a huge difference. And you avoid parallel parking on busy streets, which I think is enough motivation for all of us. Now, if you do need a car, that's totally fair. Which brings us to our next recommendation: trying to choose an electric vehicle when possible. Not everyone lives walking distance or cycling distance from, well, anything. In that case, consider an electric car, or a plug-in hybrid, or a smaller, more efficient vehicle. Electric cars can reduce air pollution. They're getting cheaper fast, and billions of dollars of innovation are making them more efficient every year. Now, they're not perfect like Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name, the Unburnt, Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, Breaker of Chains, and Mother of Dragons. Because the battery minerals used for electric cars tend to have social and environmental impacts. But they're still significantly cleaner than diesel and gas cars overall. Keeping on with the transportation theme, let's talk about flying. Admit it, you definitely wished you could fly when you were making a wish when you were younger. You probably wished for the same thing every year and it never freaking happened. I'm over it. In a way, it came true through airplanes. Air travel is one of the fastest ways to dramatically increase your environmental impact. When possible, try taking a train, meet virtually, or if you're like Benoit Lecomte, swim from America to France. Some humans are simply amazing, just like Daenerys Targaryen, the first of. Now, I myself love to travel as most of the world does. Travel is important, and sometimes the only way to get to your destination in a reasonable way is through air travel. But just try to keep in mind and see if there are alternate ways of transportation you can take to get there. This one time when I was traveling through Europe, I took a random train and I ended up in Hogwarts. The Sorting Hat put me in Hufflepuff, so naturally I left. Sorry, Hufflepuffians. If you remember one thing from this, just try to reduce flights when you can. Next up, we have reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. Yes, the classics. Yes, I have them tattooed. Yes, my therapist has questions. Everything that you buy, clothing, electronics, plastic, furniture, has a hidden environmental impact behind it. So try to buy fewer new things. Shop secondhand. And no, that doesn't mean shopping for a new hand. Trust me, I know from experience. Hi, I heard this is a secondhand store. Hey buddy, yeah, this is a secondhand store. Feel free to take a look around. If there's anything you like, just let me know. Oh, okay, great. Hey, I've walked around and I didn't see any hands.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this a secondhand store? Like, I need a second hand. Yeah, I'm sorry. We only have feet. Repair instead of replacing. There are tons of DIY videos out there. Try swapping clothes with friends. And try zero waste stores. If you do these things, your wallet and the planet both win. Okay, on to the next one. And before I begin, relax, okay? This one is about eating more vegetables. I know, but relax. I'm not telling you to become a level 5 vegan. Yes, there are levels to veganism. And I'm not telling you to become a vegetarian or to give up meat entirely. No, that's fine. Eat what you want. But you should know, plant-based foods use far fewer resources to produce. So they're ultimately better for the climate. Just try, every once in a while, eating more veggies and whole foods, cutting down on meat and dairy, or try doing something like being a weekday vegetarian, which means Monday to Friday you don't eat meat, and then on the weekends, go loco. I know some people who only cook veggies at home, but then when they go out, that's when they eat meat. So there's plenty of options that you can take. I myself am an omnivore. I've eaten meat my whole life, and truth be told, I love it and I'm probably not gonna give it up. Meats are a great source of protein, they're very delicious, and they're just part of my culture. They're foods that I've eaten my entire life. But every once in a while, I try to make an effort to eat more veggies. This might look like only eating veggies for a whole week, or when I'm out and about, getting a vegetarian dish instead of a meat dish. And honestly, I don't find it that hard. It's kind of fun to try new things. So relax, okay? Nobody's telling you you can't eat meat. Just try to vary every once in a while. Who knows, you might love tofu. Yeah. Speaking of food, this leads us to our next recommendation. Throw away less food. A shocking amount of food worldwide ends up in the trash every year, which benefits rats and raccoons tremendously, but it also wastes water, land, energy, fertilizer, and labor. To reduce food waste, buy only what you need. Store food properly, cook any leftovers you have, and compost when you can. Pro tip, I usually put my compost in the freezer in a bowl so that it doesn't smell. And then when it's filled up, I get rid of it properly. Some people even have smart refrigerators, which notifies them when their food is about to expire, which encourages them to not waste their food. I think that should be pretty standard in every household in the future. Food that does not get properly thrown away ends up in the landfill. And as it decomposes, it releases methane gas, one of the more impactful greenhouse gases. You know the gas I'm talking about, right? The ones that cows fart out? Yeah, everybody knows that. So do your part, don't waste food, and try to compost of it properly. The next recommendation we have is planting native species. Whether you have a yard, a balcony garden, or a single plant that's barely hanging on, we've all been there. You can help biodiversity by choosing native plants, avoiding invasive species, skipping pesticides, and creating little pockets of habitat. Native plants support insects, which support birds, which support entire ecosystems. Your balcony can literally become a tiny nature sanctuary. At my house, I've got this little sanctuary for ladybugs and butterflies. Although I have never seen anyone move in yet, the rent is simply too high. Next up, we have cleaning up your environment. We generate an unbelievable amount of trash, and a lot of it ends up in nature. To help, only use what you need, dispose of waste properly. Many products are now required to have a description on how to dispose of them. Don't pull a Homer Simpson, and try joining a cleanup at a beach, park, river, or a forest if you want a fun way of meeting people and enjoying nature while doing something good. And who knows, you might even find a treasure, or possibly even a message in a bottle. Then we have making your money count. Every dollar that you have is basically a type of vote for the kind of world you want. Try to support businesses that reduce waste, use sustainable materials, cut emissions, or treat workers fairly. Check where your savings or pension is invested. You might be unknowingly funding something that you're actually against. Switching to sustainable funds can make a big difference with almost zero effort on your part. And last but not least, the final recommended action is to speak up. Climate change often gets ignored or downplayed by people with power, money, or extremely creative denial skills. When almost every scientist on Earth can agree that climate change is being caused by human activities, I think that's pretty legit. But speaking up works. Try talking to family and friends. Let businesses know you want cleaner products. Support stronger climate policies. Email or call your representatives to do more. And encourage your community to get involved, like going to a beach cleanup. There's no need to make climate action your entire personality. But it's important that more of us continue this conversation and continue these actions to help mitigate the effects of climate change. And there you have it, the 12 UN recommended actions that you can start taking today. I just realized that UN recommended also kind of sounds like unrecommended. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't think that one through. It's easy to feel like one person can't make a difference, but know that you can. If you start and then even convince one friend, that's how change spreads. There's a lot more that needs to happen globally, but these actionable steps can genuinely lower your impact and help slow down the warming of the planet. My name is Brian, and I'm here to share ideas, innovations, solutions, and have these conversations on how we can make a better planet for the future, with a little bit of humor sprinkled in, because, sometimes these topics can be drier than my houseplants. Consider subscribing and sharing with a friend. It really helps a lot. And let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. I'll see you next time. Sayonara. And don't forget your martial arts training.